sold out for the 150th consecutive game in which non-striking teams are involved. Squib kick. David Little lets it go by, and it goes right by. He's Sherman. He can't control it. Eagles start from their own 3.5. Randall Cunningham with only 64 yards last week. Lowest game as a starter since '85. Offensive line, Matt Darwin, Mike Shadd. Ron Solt, of course, back in the lineup now. And Keith Jackson will start, but he's hobbled by injuries. Byars, Tony, Johnson, and Carter. And on passing downs, it's Garrity and Henry Williams. Keith Byars for a couple out to the 7. The Denver defense under first-year defensive coordinator Wade Key. Carricker, Cragen, and Ron Holmes will start up front. And the linebackers Brooks, Dennison, Mecklenburg, and Simon Fletcher. And the defensive secondary, Braxton and Henderson. Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith is having an all-pro year on passing downs. Denver goes to 7 defensive backs. Here's a handoff up the middle again. Anthony Tony out near the 15-yard line. Tony, the fullback out of Texas A&M. And that's good enough for a first down, so they get it out to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things that Wade Phillips, when he came to Denver, one of his first priorities in putting in this defense was he felt that the #1 priority for Denver was to be able to stop the run. And so far, Philadelphia is moving the ball very well, running.
Snap, the handoff, Byars. Mark Munford can't make the tackle. Wyman Henderson and Dennis Smith finally bring Byars down, but he's out to the 29-yard line. There's a young man who came in as a #1 draft choice with a foot problem out of Ohio State and has become a pass receiving specialist. And yet, Buddy Ryan said yesterday, I promise you, he insists that if we give this man the ball 25 times a game, he would be an outstanding running back.
That's exactly right. Byars, they found out, was an excellent pass receiver. And so therefore, because of the Eagle offensive game plan was to throw with Cunningham, they found out he could catch it. And that's what they've really been doing, is using him to run pass routes.
They'll try Tony, big hole. And Tony rips. Now he's knocked backwards, but his forward progress will carry him to the 36. Dennis Smith, now a flag is down. Smith made the tackle. Jim Tunney is the referee today.
One of the things you'll see, Vern, is Tunney waiting on you, Jim. One of the things you will see running against a 3-4, most teams will attack between the tackles. Very seldom will the teams run wide because of the pursuit of the linebackers.
Personal foul, Philadelphia. Now here's Jim Tunney. We'll find out who is guilty.
Personal foul. Number 79. After the play was dead, unnecessary roughness. It'll be second down. Second down.
That's Mike Shadd on the dead ball foul, second down.
One of the reasons that the offense has changed for the Eagles is turnovers. You look at the first 4 games, 39% run as opposed to 58% pass, and now how it's changed drastically in the last 3 games.
Second and 18, and another flag.
Looks like they're going backwards now, Vern.
Encroachment, 56, 5 yards.
That's Michael Brooks, strong side outside linebacker, and it'll make it a second down and 13. Danny Reeves now in his 9th year as the head coach.
Teams always come out with their best running plays. These are the best running plays the Eagles have. I expect the Broncos will stop them on the second series of trying to run the same plays.
Second, 13, split backs, draw play. Byars. And He's out to the 34-yard line before Steve Atwater, number 27, the rookie out of Arkansas, makes the tackle.
A different play. Now we saw the draw where Cunningham pretended that he was going to throw the ball. Then he handed it to Byars on the draw. But the running lanes are up inside. Once again, folks, no one is running wide on the Broncos. Notice Byars slides over, gets the ball. It's a draw. It makes it, the idea is to make it look as though it's a pass, and then hand off with a surprise back for the run.
On 3rd and 5, 4 wide receivers, no blitz by the Broncos. Cunningham out of the grasp of a potential tackler. That's Fletcher chasing him. Randall gets a heck of a block from Tony and is out of bounds for the first down. He got a superb block from Anthony Tony.
Oh, this is going to make Wade Phillips furious. Number 27 is Steve Atwater. He is the starting free safety. In the nickel situation, the Broncos will come in with 7 defensive backs, and Atwater 27's responsibility is to cover Randall Cunningham, to spy him. Folks, watch this great effort by Cunningham, but notice at the end, 27 got caught inside, allowing Cunningham outside. A terrible play by Atwater, especially when he was there to spy on Cunningham.
That is a 24-yard gain, longest run of the year against the Broncos. The handoff to Tony. Boy, they are running and running well. That's a 9-yard gain and maybe 10. Only the 3rd time this year, Terry, that a running back or that a team has had a run of longer than 20 against Denver, and the previous long was by Bernie Kosar, which you wouldn't expect.
Well, last week's game, Seattle exposed the inside backers to the running attack. And these Eagles saw that game. Seattle rushed for 139 yards, Vern. And now we're seeing the Eagles run. Everything is directly up the middle.
That was Ted Plum, the offensive coordinator, on the sideline. 2nd down and 2. This is the opening series of the game, and Philadelphia has gotten it all on the ground. Cut back, Keith Byars. And he's down near the 31-yard line. Randall Cunningham, by the way, climbs up the list of top 10 running backs in the league. He's now passed Steve Grogan, and that was a 24-yarder that got them the first down a moment ago.
Well, as his career continues on, and a brilliant career he has going for himself, Vern, those numbers will not impress himself later on. He'll quit doing that. I've often said that and listen, I'm not saying this to happen, but it takes an injury or it takes maturity as a player, as a quarterback, for him to stop doing that. Eventually he will. See, I got those 32 touchdowns and that average rushing in the first 5 years. I don't think I scored a touchdown after that.
No kidding. Well, Cunningham with a 6.9 yard per carry average, and Mr. Bradshaw with 32 touchdowns.
Yeah, I like that. That looks good.
It does look good. That's a first down.
Ted Plum, the offensive coordinator that we had a shot of a while ago, was criticized a little bit by Cunningham. Not directly at Ted, but when the reporters asked him last week about the game and what's wrong with their offense, there's Ted Plum. Randall Cunningham kind of let it out. I wish we would throw more play-action passes, and I wish we'd do this. And Ted Plum, I'm sure, is saying, I wish you wouldn't say those things. We'll work this out between the two of us.
Impressive drive to open the ball game for the Eagles. They come in with a 5-2 mark, chasing the New York Giants. And that play is stuffed on first down.
Now the Eagles are running inside, but what has happened, Vern, is that the ends of the Broncos and the nose tackle are now stunning. They're slanting, and when you slant your lineman, the blockers do not have a direct block on you. Now they're slanting and pinching their linebackers up, and so now they have shut down the inside running game. Now's the time to play action. Now's the time to go wide.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. The previous 9 have been runs. 2nd down and 8. Tony a little slow getting back to his feet.
And wide.
Welcome those of you who've been watching the New Orleans-Atlanta game as the Saints win it over Atlanta down in the Bayou City, 20-13. We are scoreless here in the Mile High City. The Philadelphia Eagles have taken the opening kickoff, which a drive which started at their own 3-yard line, and running on every play. They have run for 10 consecutive times. They now have a first down at the Denver Bronco 22-yard line. Largest play in this drive, a 24-yard scamper by Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, last week, you know, these Eagles had 8 drives of less than 25 yards, Vern. And so for them to come out with an opening drive in terrible field position says a lot for their game plan.
Buddy Ryan said yesterday, the team that runs the ball best today will win. There's Byars on first down, and he's inside the 20 near the 18-yard line.
Well, for those that just joined us, everything that the Eagles have done running-wise has been up the middle. That's how they got as far as they got, except for the 24-yard scramble by Cunningham. And now they're trying to run up inside. And once again, I don't think they're going to be successful doing it. I think they're going to have to come back out wide. They ran one little counter trap and picked up 7 or 8 yards. And I think inside's no good. Now you have to go wider and throw the ball.
Second down and 7. No score. Opening drive of the game. They still run it. Mark Hicks, the 5'7", 200-pounder, dances to the outside and is knocked out of bounds with a third down play forthcoming at the 16-yard line. This, of course, is the 8th game of 1989. The Broncos come in with a 6-1 record. And of their 7 previous opponents, Terry, they have held 5 of those opponents to less than 95 yards in the ground. And Philadelphia is about to get 95 on this opening drive on the ground.
Well, I think a lot of it is a surprise. Top of this telecast, the thing that we talked about was Cunningham and Elway having to adjust to a running offense, to understanding the running game. And I would say that Cunningham has certainly learned a lot on this drive.
3rd and 4. And again they run. It's Byars. Touchdown, Philadelphia. On the opening drive of the game, the Philadelphia Eagles accomplished what only 2 other foes have accomplished, rushed for more than 95 yards.
Well, this is a draw trap. Notice that left tackle Darwin is pulling out. Ted Plum told us, he said that one of the things that will happen is that this Denver team will be more patient with their defense than we will with our offense. And I would say that Mr. Plum right then showed a lot of patience in his play calling.
The extra point is good. This is a Denver team that a year ago finished 27th in the league against the rush. They have improved that to the 4th best record in the league against the rush. They are averaging giving up only 89 yards per game, and on the opening drive of 13 plays, the Philadelphia Eagles go 96 yards on the ground. Welcome those of you who've been watching the Rams-Chicago game from the Windy City, where the Bears halt their losing streak and extend the Rams losing streak 20-10, the final there. And here we have 8 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Philadelphia Eagles have just driven 96 yards in 13 plays, every one of them on the ground. And here's the touchdown run, Terry Bradshaw of Keith Byars.
This is the counter trap by the Eagles that you know so well from the Washington Redskins. Pull the left guard and the left tackle. Byars gets in behind him. Once he got into the linebackers, he was able to break tackles, and the safeties grabbed on and he carried them in. Great effort by Byars.
Luis Zendejas will kick off. Vern Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw here in Denver, Colorado, where the Philadelphia Eagles are playing the Denver Broncos for only the 6th time. A spotlight of quarterbacks is what we have expected in Randall Cunningham and John Elway, but the Eagles, who saw the kickoff bobbled at their own 4-yard line, then put together a most impressive drive. 96 yards, 13 plays, every one of them from the foot soldiers.
Every one of them on the ground against a team that is ranked 4th against the rush and did an outstanding job counter punch. They know you're good against the run. The Eagles came out and said, we're going to prove to you that we can run the football.
Zendejas will kick it deep to Ken Bell and Darrell Carrington. This is Bell at the goal line. And he's out to the 25-yard line. Britt Hager makes the tackle. And here comes John Elway on the field for the first time. 202 yards in the 4th quarter last week. And for the season, 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He really erupted in the second half of that win over Seattle. His offensive line, Perry, who had a horrid game last week. Keith Karts is injured and may be able to go the distance today. Clarence Kay starts at tight end. Bobby Humphrey and Melvin Bratton, the rookie starting backfield. And Vance Johnson, Mark Jackson, the wide receivers. Young and Mobley come in on passing downs. Denver opens with a double tight end set, however, on first down. Play fake. And Elway comes left. Caught by Vance Johnson. Gets up and scoots out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
If you're going to throw the football against Philadelphia, the best time to do it is on first down. That's because that White 92, the end, is always on the outside, not over the nose of the center. Play action, come back and find your guys and throw it. That's the best time to throw against Philadelphia. Avoid third and long if you possibly can.
Vance Johnson, 5'11", 185-pounder, a 22-yard gain. First and 10 from 47. Humphrey, deep back in the eye behind Mel Bratton. Here's the toss to Humphrey, bobbles it. Gets a perfect basketball bounce back into his arms. And the ball is whistled dead before the second fumble on that nasty-looking play. Philadelphia defense, and they have played extraordinarily well. Reggie White, Pitts, Brown, and Simmons, the front four. The linebackers, Joyner, Evans, and Harris. The defensive secondary has been a little bit shaky in some games. Jenkins, Allen, Hopkins, and Waters. Frizzell and Everett come in as the nickel and dime backs, respectively. And
the first thing that the Eagles did, Vern, after that completion by Elway was bring Reggie White out of the end and put him at nose tackle over the center. Wasn't going to allow Elway to throw on first down.
Sewell and Winder are in the backfield now out of the shotgun. Elway dipped, picked off by Izell Jenkins. Number 46 looks for a convoy and counter punches to the 41-yard line. The pass just a little bit high, but then it was tipped by a receiver and returned 18 yards.
Plenty of time for Elway to set up and throw. Plenty of time to pick out his receivers. Good job by his line. Notice no stunts by the rush. Plenty good pocket. Finds his man and just gunned it a little bit high. That's Vance Johnson, 82, that the pass was intended for, but thrown a little high.
And did he or did he not catch it? Jenkins. Well, they're going to look at it on replay.
Yeah, well, we
see if he trapped it. If it holds, it's Izell Jenkins' 4th interception of the year.
That ball was really whistling, wasn't it?
Right off Johnson's hands.
If you throw one high like that, or you throw one hard like that, it's best to have it low so your receiver can react. Let's see if Jenkins did indeed make the interception. Looks to me like, oh yeah.
I don't know, Terry, that there's enough evidence there to overrule the conclusion that it was an interception. Welcome those of you who've been watching the Phoenix-Dallas game, where the Cowboys lose their 8th in a row and Gene Stallings' team wins back in the city in which he coached for so many years. Philadelphia leads Denver here 7-0. They went 93 yards with the opening drive, or 96 yards rather, every one of them on the ground. Jim Tunney just announcing in the background that the play will stand. There was not conclusive evidence to overrule it. I think that's a very good call by Bill Fetty, the replay judge. First down on Izell Jenkins' pass interception. Byars for the 14th straight time the Eagles run the ball. Just a quick recap for those of you who just joined us. On the opening drive, the Eagles went 96 yards in 13 plays, every one of them on the ground. Byars got a 16-yard for the touchdown. Izell Jenkins just got the interception for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a second down now. Byars and Higgs in the backfield. Tony on the bench with injury. Byars going left. Good block from Heller. They are ripping this Denver Bronco defense to shreds, Terry. That's a 13-yard gain.
They're running the counter trap, pulling both offside guard and tackle, and all that happens is that Byars will get into the pocket of the offside guard. See the left guard on your screen? That'd be the right guard and the right tackle pulling out. Same play the Redskins run. They just copied it and doing a very fine job.
What a block by Ron Heller on Rick Dennison. First and 10, again on the ground. It's Byars. We're going to do it and do it again, and then we'll do it one more time until you learn.
Well, the fans.
Byars is injured now. Tony went out limping a while ago.
Fans are getting upset, and what's happening is that there's really no changeup in the Broncos scheme, Vern. It's just pretty much basic. And what's going to happen now is with the Eagles being able to run the football, they're going to have to get back to their slants, their stunts. They may even have, the Broncos may even have to start blitzing. You can blitz to try to stop the run. And once they do that, though, they expose their corners and allow Cunningham an opportunity to throw deep and beat him.
1st and 10, draw play. Heath Sherman, number 23. "17 plays now on the ground. And they've got the ball at the 10-yard line. We'll get a report from the bench on Byars and Tony as quickly as we can. But Tony went out on the first series, and then you just saw Keith Byars limp out. Well, Buddy Ryan has said we're going. This may be establishing a ground game to an extreme. 2nd down and 4. And again, they run it. Sherman dropped. Ron Holmes, number 90, acquired early in the season on a trade with Tampa Bay.
Well, that's the first time we've seen the stunt by the Denver Broncos. When a team is running the ball extremely well on you and consistently doing it, you have to get out of what you normally do. And normally what the Broncos do is play the 3-4 defense very solid, very limited, no stunning, no blitzing. But now the Eagles are forcing them to change their attack.
3rd and 6. First pass complete. Sherman. Football. Philadelphia ball. So Heath Sherman gets the grab of the first pass from Randall Cunningham. Now, did he get the first down? They will bring out the chain. It'll be short, says Randall Cunningham. 4th down. Buddy Ryan, go for it. You're on the road. It might snow. You're going to San Diego after the game for a week.
Keep the clock running.
You're 5-2. You've run for 135 yards already.
You don't want to throw another pass the rest of the day.
Go for it. Welcome those of you who watched Green Bay defeat Detroit in overtime 23-20. 4th and 2 inches for the first down for the Philadelphia Eagles. Cunningham appears to have gotten it. Randall Cunningham on 4th and less than a foot. Buddy Ryan sends him over the top as the Philadelphia Eagles continue to run on the Denver Broncos. They went 96 yards in 13 plays with the opening drive for a touchdown, and they have thrown just 1 pass thus far.
Yeah, one of the things everyone in Denver was saying, wait till the Broncos play those NFC Eastern teams with those huge offensive linemen and those huge defensive linemen. Well, this is the defensive line here in Denver that's 10 pounds heavier than it has been over the last few years under Joe Collier. Their average 279 pounds, but the offensive line of the Eagles is about 295. So there's a tremendous mismatch. That may be one of the reasons why Philadelphia is able to run the football.
1st and goal. Cris Carter wide to the left. They throw for Carter. He has the touchdown. His favorite route, he told us, is the fade pattern. And look what they ran, Terry.
Exactly. Carter told us my most favorite route is the fade, and I use my eyes to freeze the defensive back. And I lean on him, and look at him looking at the defensive back. Gets into him, then the defensive back, he coyed him, he got him to turn around, and then automatically Carter turns around, makes a fine catch of an excellent thrown ball by Cunningham.
Carter, who has missed Mike Quick as an opposing, or rather as a counterpart.
Get it out, bud.
I did polysyllabic words. It's too cold for those. The sun is out. The Broncos get the touchdown, rather the Eagles get the touchdown toss. Randall Cunningham to Cris Carter, and they lead it 14-0. It was a week ago in Seattle that the Denver Broncos fell behind Seattle 14-0. They trailed at halftime and came back to win in overtime. but this has been a most impressive Philadelphia start, scoring both times they've had the ball. Welcome those of you who watched Cincinnati's rout of Tampa Bay, 56-23, the final in that one. Our score is Philadelphia 14, the Denver Broncos nothing. The Eagles won the toss and took the opening kickoff 96 yards on 13 plays on the ground. Keith Byars got the touchdown from 16 yards out. And then Izell Jenkins picked off a John Elway pass that was deflected off Vance Johnson. And the Eagles kept it on the ground for the most part, and on Randall Cunningham's second pass of the game, he found Cris Carter for the TD.
Yeah, one step, lay it up. You don't have a lot of room, and you get rid of the ball quickly because the corners come up and press the wide receivers, and Cunningham using the talents, the strengths of Carter. Carter said, I love the fade route. That's my most favorite route. So Cunningham said, fine, let's do it. Do it right now. They did. It's a touchdown.
Ken Bell, Darren Carrington back to return the kick. This is a Philadelphia team that is, for the second week in a row, meeting an AFC Western Division rival. They defeated the Raiders in a drab game last week, 10-7, and they go to San Diego from here. And they lead it 14-0 with almost everything accomplished on the grounds. And Tejas will kick off. Eric Everett will hold the ball down. The forecast was for snow this afternoon, but it has held off, though it's a chilly day with the temperature around 40. Carrington with the touchback, and again the Broncos will go on offense, but for only the second time in the first quarter of play. John Elway, 1 for 2. Hasn't had a ball hit the ground yet. One to his guys, one to theirs. And 2:52 to go in the first quarter of play. Elway, who had established very modest numbers this year, and now they will call timeout. 2:52 to go. First quarter of play. 14-0 Philadelphia. Eagles lead the Denver Broncos, a 5-2 Philadelphia team chasing the New York Giants. Meeting a Denver team that has a 3-game edge at the midway point of the season over its AFC Western Division rivals. Here's Steve Sewell making a late entrance into the ballgame, and Mel Bratton comes out. Update you on other scores. Cincinnati wins big over Tampa Bay. Cleveland defeated Houston this afternoon. And here are the Denver Broncos for the second time in the ballgame. They loaded up on the left side. Now Kay starts in motion, and a handoff up the middle. Bobby Humphrey, the rookie running back out of Alabama, to the 23-yard line. Clyde Simmons, number 96, makes the tackle. Pittsburgh defeats Kansas City by 6 to go 4-4 for the year. And Buffalo over Miami by 14. In overtime, New England and Indianapolis are tied at 20. And the Saints win it again. They're about to climb right back into this thing. Chasing San Francisco, of course, and San Francisco leads the Jets 7-0. Washington's touchdown on a 99-yard kickoff return. And San Diego and Seattle are scoreless. Our score 14-0, 2:08 to go, first quarter. That's Mobley in motion now. And Elway with the pass. Left side behind Mark Jackson with Eric Allen defending. Well, let's focus in on Reggie White, the all-pro defensive tackle.
Well, you can bet one thing, that holding is something that Reggie White is very upset with. Is there holding here? No, that's just good job. But Reggie White, notice you will never see him get on a pass rush that someone, at least 2 people, are trying to block him. In a lot of cases, Vern 3.
That was Ken Lanier doing the blocking job then. 3rd down and 7 now. 3 wide receivers in. And Elway works out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. Simmons right in his face. And the pass incomplete, as Clyde Simmons had an unobstructed path to John Elway.
The thing that's happened for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though Reggie White does not have as many sacks as he has previously, has the four and a half coming into this game, he occupies more than 2 people blocking him, and it's freeing up Simmons from the outside. That time, the Broncos were so concerned about Reggie White and where he was that they totally forgot about Clyde Simmons. Clyde coming from the outside, no one blocked him.
Gizmo Williams to return Mike Horan's punt. It's a dandy. And Horan to Gizmo Williams at the 20. Got some room. A fine return to the 43. Mike Horan, who punted 9 times last week in Seattle and had none returned. This time, that 57-yard punt is returned 23 yards. That's almost the longest return of the year for Gizmo Williams. As a matter of fact, it equals his longest. 14-0. Eagles have the lead and the football. 1:41 to go in the first quarter. The Eagles 14 and the Denver Broncos nothing. There's Ron Holmes, who started the game in place of an injured Andre Townsend. The Broncos were nicked, and Ron Holmes has started and played every down defensively so far. Now Philadelphia, which had had first half scoring problems in the last 4 games. Boy, they have erupted for 14 first quarter points. 1 touchdown in the previous first half of the last 4 games. And here's Byars, cut down as he tries to come right. Tyrone Braxton, the 3rd-year man out of North Dakota State, made the tackle.
Last week led the team in tackles. I think he had something like 12 tackles. And this scheme that is run by the Broncos, a lot of times you will have support by the safeties and the corners to come up and stop the run. And that time Braxton went off into coverage, saw the play, read it quickly, and then came up and made the stop of Byars.
Already in the first quarter, 20 running plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 2nd and 10. Byars has already surpassed his season high rushing. Clock down to 4 seconds. They run it again. This is Robert Drummond, the rookie 12th round draft choice, or 3rd round draft choice out of Syracuse. And it'll be 3rd down. As we told you earlier, there 5 opponents for the Broncos have been held to less than 95 yards rushing in a game this year. And for the season, they've averaged giving up only 89 yards per game. And already today, Philadelphia has rushed for 139 yards. 14-0 and a 3rd and 7. Shotgun for Cunningham, who's thrown twice. Hands it off to Byars. They'll punt.
Fool me once, but you won't fool me twice. I believe that Philadelphia has run all their running plays. They've tried them all and been very successful. And now the second time you run them, these are professional teams. They say, no way, Jose, we're going to get you.
We begin quarter number 2 from Mile High Stadium. Vern Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw. The Eagles lead it by 14, but they'll have to punt now on 4th down and 7. A 16-yard touchdown run by Keith Byars and a 5-yard toss from Cunningham to Cris Carter. The only points thus far. The Broncos have had 1 pass intercepted, and they've had to punt once. There's John Telchik. Ken Bell at the 15. Bobbled. Battle for the ball. Philadelphia has it. Brett Hager, number 54. The rookie linebacker out of Texas.
Last week was voted the best hit on special teams by the Eagles and was given $100 in a meeting last night. Over $900 were passed out to great hits. And Brett Hager, he was one of the gentlemen that got it. Look at Bell, 35, misjudged it. A very easy punt to catch because it was with the wind. The ball just floated down, and Bell obviously saw the rush coming, took his eyes off, which is a no-no, and a fine job by the Eagles of being on top of him and getting the ball back.
There's Brett Hager.
$100.
Gotten rid of the mustache and shortened his haircut since he joined Philadelphia. Back in the beginning of the season, Buddy Ryan referred to him as my hippie linebacker. Here's Byars going right as they keep it on the ground, and he's down at the 9-yard line. Just to elaborate on that point that Terry was making, The Eagles give $100 bonuses to their players, and this is perfectly within the parameters of the league rules. But he said, Ted Plum was telling us, it's kind of interesting. These guys get so upset if they don't get the $100 bonus. Here they are making these huge sums of money, but the recognition by the coaching staff for a special hit and the $100 is worth something to them. Second down and 6. Cunningham. Flag is down, and so is Randall Cunningham. The flag back at the 16-yard line. There are 2 flags down now. Holding.
I know the coaches hate it. I don't know if Cunningham is hurt or if he's out of breath. We're at Mile High Stadium, and it is not that easy to run and keep your breath. There's a move. He tries to put a move on Dennis Smith, one of the real fine safeties in the league, and doggone, well, he does. He gets away from him. And then finally Braxton gets the shot, and I don't know if Randall landed on the ball or whether he's just from the lack of oxygen. I'm telling you, having played here, Vern, and if you have to run a lot, you don't bounce back as fast. I mean, it's very hard to get. It seems like I'm never going to get enough oxygen, you know, to replace what I've just spent. And hopefully that Cunningham is all right. It's just that he's out of oxygen.
Matt Cavanaugh has not taken a snap this year. Randall has taken every one of them. There's Cavanaugh.
You're looking at the very reason why Buddy Ryan is trying to get a running game going. Is to, number one, take the pressure off of Randall Cunningham, who has led this team 3 years in a row in rushing. A quarterback that leads him in rushing. He said, I don't want that. I want Byars. I want Tony. I want Higgs and Drummond. These are the guys I want to lead our team in rushing, not our quarterback.
Because an injury timeout was taken, Randall Cunningham will have to sit out at least one play, if not more, and the medical staff tending to him now. So Matt Cavanaugh is in at quarterback. The holding call wiped out the run by Cunningham, and it gives the Eagles a second down from the 19-yard line. Matt Cavanaugh has not thrown a pass this year. He did come in the first game of the year and hand the ball off a couple of times. Here is Matt Cavanaugh across the middle, intercepted. Now he's thrown one. Rick Dennison gets his first pick of the year. Watch it again, intended for Jimmie Giles, Terry.
Well, you can notice the outside. That's Simon Fletcher, 73, sitting on the outside of Giles. Dennison was on the inside, so in effect, they had a double team on the tight end. Cunningham, a veteran, should have noticed that, gotten away from the double team, and found the receiver that had one man covering him.
Coors, brewery fresh, pure and natural. It's a true American original. New York Life, the company you keep. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer, we build excitement.
We have had Indian summer weather in Colorado and the Rockies for the last couple of weeks. It did snow here in the mountains on Thursday, and the forecast for today for the Denver area was 2 to 4 inches of snow. But thus far, it has held off. Skiers around the country don't want to hear that, though. They want to know, and I include you among them. I'm going to get you on skis yet.
No, you're not.
Oh, dear. First down and 10. As the turnovers even up at 1 apiece in this quarter. Broncos turned it over twice. Flags are down. Elway across the middle, dropped. Oh, boy. Orson Mobley hadn't hit him right in the midsection.
Best pass to run against teams that like to play man coverage, you've heard me say this time and time again, is crossing routes.
Offside against Philadelphia. Just to give you a quick recap, the Eagles opened up by driving 96 yards all on the ground.
Offside defense, still first down.
Keith Byars then scored the touchdown from 16 yards out. On the next possession, Denver's John Elway threw an interception. Isaiah Jenkins picked it off. Cris Carter caught a Cunningham pass to make it 14-0, and that's where we are right now. Philadelphia leading, and the Broncos have just gotten their first turnover of the game. Rick Dennison's pass interception. 1st and 5. Elway, right flat, caught. Mark Jackson as the cornerback. Isaiah Jenkins slipped, and that's complete out to the 34-yard line.
Last week against Seattle, Jackson came in and said, we got to open it up. We got to go deep. These cornerbacks are settling on us. So the key is to drive the corners deeper and come back underneath. Notice that time Jackson went 15 to 18 yards deep, came back, fine throw by John Elway.
There's a snap from behind as Elway goes back to throw it and makes it complete on the right side to Jackson. Now back to live action. 1st and 10. 14-0. Philadelphia leads it. On the ground, not much. There's Randall Cunningham. The report from the bench is a bruised shoulder, but he will return. Randall Cunningham, who has been a little testy, Terry, in the criticism of his lack of productivity passing the ball. I think he's just going through an emotional time of learning what the game is all about.
Exactly. It's an emotional growth that he's going through. There's a downside where everyone's on you. Then there's the great side when everybody loves you. And he's experiencing the downside right now, and he's having to adjust to it, having to get used to it.
2nd down and 8. Reggie White. Oh, did he blow in?
Oh, my gosh. Kendall Lanier, the right tackle, had no help. No one was there to help Lanier, the right tackle. When Reggie White talked to us, he said, very seldom do I ever have the opportunity of going past one blocker. Notice this. White on Lanier, pushes him aside. Here, get out of the way. And there's Elway, the prize, waiting on him.
Reggie White's 5th sack, 5.5 now for the year. Philadelphia trailing the Vikings by 7 sacks, among the leaders in the National Football League. And the front 4 have gotten most of them. And it's been the triple and double teaming on Reggie White that has allowed his teammates to get their shots at the quarterback. Time has been called now by the Denver Broncos as the 45-second clock was about to expire. It's 14-0 Philadelphia. Well, to say the least, the Eagles have established a ground attack, 142-2. They've also run more plays than the Broncos, and Keith Byars has a season high of 74 yards and 1 touchdown. If you did join us late, the Eagles took that opening kickoff and went 96 yards in 13 plays, every one of them on the ground to get the first touchdown. That kind of set the tenor for the game, but they've been a very dominant team, Terry, thus far.
Well, they have. Their defense is playing extremely well, and one of the reasons Ryan wanted to get a running game going, he felt like, was that it helps the defense. It helps keep them on the bench. Also, when they come out, they're fresh, and this is a very aggressive defense that gives it all every play, and they need a break, so the running game helps their defense.
Reggie White just got a sack, his 5th of the year. Here comes the stunts. Frizzell on the blitz. Elway lets it go. Eric Allen picks it off. Frizzell was coming on the blitz. That allowed Allen to run under the pass. 3rd turnover the Eagles have accomplished in the first half of play.
2 things, 2 major differences in the style of defenses. Philadelphia is aggressive. They attack, they safety blitz, they corner blitz, they send linebackers. The Broncos, on the other hand, sit back and play very soft in their defensive coverage. Elway had no chance that time. He saw the safety coming. When he turned his head around, he had to get rid of the football. In a case like that, don't try to complete it. Throw it into the crowd. He's got that kind of arm. He can do it. Notice William Frizzell comes from the blind side. Elway will blitz control to the left side, not to the right. He missed the blitz there. Normally when you see the blitz coming from the right, you blitz control to that side. Notice he turns around, never sees it too late, anticipates it at the very last, underthrows the pass, and the fine job by Eric Allen, 21, as he came off his route, saw the ball, made a heck of an interception, diving interception, and kept both feet in bounds.
There's Eric Allen, his 4th interception. Frizzell coming on the blitz. In the background, you see Keith Jackson, who was bothered by an ankle injury and did not start today. Keith, of course, along with Michael Quick, such a vital cog in the air attack of the Philadelphia Eagles. And he missed one full game, also had to sit out of halves of 2 others. Now, Randall Cunningham is coming back into the lineup. He sat out the 1 play as you look at other scores. Now we are told that they are looking at the instant replay to see whether Eric Allen had possession when he made the interception.
Well, first of all, you have to establish the catch. So there's the catch. Left foot, drug the right foot. And I would say that is an interception. First you do, you establish the catch. Does he have possession? Now both feet must come down in bounds. And I counted left foot, right foot, and it appeared that he got both of them in.
Somewhere behind that screen is Bill Fetty and Don Anderson, the communicator. They continue to look at it, and here's Jim Tunney. I think he's going to say it's inconclusive.
Here the play stands, interception, first down.
Eric Allen gets his 4th. Izell Jenkins has his 4th also. And the Eagles as a team have 18 interceptions for the year. And now Philadelphia leading 14-0 with Randall Cunningham back in the lineup. Byars. Rotating defense by the Broncos. Here's Byars going right, jammed up. Ron Holmes up on top as Byars gets hit initially by Michael Brooks at the 40-yard line.
Right now we're seeing the Broncos, Vern, come up and stop the run. They're stopping the run on first down. And the best time to do play action is on first down, especially if you've been successful with the run, because everyone said, well, I want to stop the run. So, man, they get up in there, then all of a sudden you pull the ball out, and then you throw the ball deep. So now I would say that Philadelphia has to change their strategy, start thinking outside, start thinking play action.
Second down and 8, 14-0. Here's the reverse. Ron Johnson, number 85. He's got 3 men in front. Smith pulls the ball out. It goes out of bounds. It will be the Eagles football as Dennis Smith came flying from around the back and got to Ron Johnson.
Well, we said they needed to go wide, and that's a way of going wide. The gadget, you'll see the play go one way. It's a misdirection. They call them gadgets because they're just not normal plays. There's Byars. He's been running the football, so hand it to Byars, and then everyone goes to Byars, and then you come back with Johnson on the reverse, and then you hope that Johnson will move the ball and put it in his right arm so that Smith can't knock it out. He kept it in his left.
Simon Fletcher comes in and all of a sudden realizes he is in deep trouble. Whoops. Back to live action now. Carter starts in motion. Here comes Mark Higgs. Steve Atwater, number 27, knocks him out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The young man, 5'7", 200-pounder, who was an unrestricted free agent, acquired Plan B from the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, now they've gone to Higgs, the speed back, who gets outside. That's where they're running the football and running successful in the second quarter. Higgs, a back that says, I like to get in behind the lineman. They can't see me. I hide behind him. Buddy Ryan says, hey, I'm only going to use the guy 10 or 12 plays. He just can't take the pounding.
Simon Fletcher, number 73. And Higgs turned the corner on Fletcher and gets around to the left side for a first down. 14-0 Philadelphia. Draw play, Byars. Again, he's got Heller in front, and Heller destroys Mark Munford. Now a flag comes down at the 20-yard line. Greg Cragen makes the tackle. Boy, that counter gap, Terry.
That's what everyone runs, the counter gap. Some run it better. You know, we talked to Gibbs at Washington. He said everyone watches it. We said, well, who would you think runs it well? He said, well, Philadelphia runs it pretty well, and the Rams run it pretty well. And some teams don't run it well at all. They don't understand it. But the Eagles now are doing a very nice job of it. Such a simple, it's a simple run.
Holding 73 during the run, still first down.
No wonder Ron Heller destroyed Mark Munford. Let's take a close-up of this and see what the holding is.
Left of your screen is 73. That's Ron Heller. That's the right tackle. And they're calling him holding. The reason is the hand was underneath the defensive back and around him.
First and 15, screen pass. Higgs. Cragen gets there, number 71 for the Broncos. And Alfonso Carricker joined by Michael Brooks, number 56.
You know, Vern, I just don't think this is a good team to throw screens on. Even though they're a zone team, their linebackers don't get deep enough. You know, if they got back 10, 15 yards like some teams do, yeah, run those screens, get those big tackles out there. But they only get back 5, 7 yards, and so they can react very quickly to screens.
Interesting, we thought that this defensive weight key with the Broncos would test the patience of Randall Cunningham. So far, they've done just about everything right. Second down at 16. Here comes the blitz. No, it's a four-man rush. The pass, Carter. And that'll be short of the first down, way short as he gets to the 26-yard line. Tyrone Braxton and Wyman Henderson.
One thing that is very obvious in the passing attack of the Eagles, and maybe one of the reasons why Cunningham has had problems putting the numbers up, the Eagles do not have quick. He stretches the defense. He's the speed man. It takes two people to cover him, sometimes three, which open up the lanes for the other guys. The receivers that the Eagles have on this field today are primarily, with the exception of Johnson, primarily are possession-type receivers. Run very good routes, but are not burners.
Four receivers in now on 3rd and 11. Draw play. Byars stopped at the 23. And they'll bring on Luis Zendejas, who is, to be kind about it, having an inconsistent year. Zendejas, some of the papers were speculating back in Philadelphia that his job is in jeopardy.
Yeah, well, how would you like to be a guy that every time you swung your leg at a ball, it could mean the difference between victory and losing? And so every time he does something, it's magnified. I wouldn't want to be a kicker. I don't care how much money. I'll take that back. That would make a difference.
9 of 14 for the year. This is from 41 yards out. Delchik will hold. He's 9 of 15 for the year. Buddy Ryan did not look pleased. Zendejas now 9 of 15 for the season as he hooks it wide to the left side. 8:51 to go in the first half of play. Broncos get the ball back. They trail by a 14-0 count, same score by which they trailed at halftime last week in Seattle. They came back and won that in overtime. They have been a dominant team at home in the 80s. They have a marvelous home record, best of all the NFL teams, but they find themselves down now to the 5-2 Philadelphia Eagles. John Elway has thrown 2 interceptions already in the first half. Jeff Alexander, the normal fullback, is out with an injured ankle. That means Mel Bratton's in, and he leads the way for Bobby Humphrey, who goes to the left. And Humphrey, the number 1 pick in the supplemental draft out of Alabama, gets not much at all. Andre Waters and Al Harris with Clyde Simmons. There's Jerome Brown, number 99, who's among those who've been playing quite well up front.
Played very well with Reggie White drawing all that coverage now. And Jerome Brown has had some tremendous games, takes an inside rush, and one of the things he said, I would rather play outside where all I have to do is beat a tackle and take on a running back, as opposed to playing tackle where I have to take on a guard and a center.
Steve Sewell, number 30, into the lineup, replacing Humphrey for Denver. Second down and 10. Back split, both wide receivers to the right side. Elway with time, deep for Johnson. Vance Johnson, big catch. First down at the 44-yard line in front of Wes Hopkins. Johnson, who is a good friend of Randall Cunningham. They went to dinner on Friday night as the Eagles came in town early.
Yeah, and they went shopping too, and Randall was going in and buying some clothes, and we asked him what kind. He said expensive clothes. 21-yard in, hardest pass to catch, man coverage, a team that loves to hit, a quarterback that guns it in there, takes a lot of courage. Johnson has it.
Johnson's second catch, that's good for 21 and a first down at the 45. 14-0 Philadelphia. Mobley in motion, Elway. Left side, caught by Johnson again and runs out of bounds at the 9-yard gain.
If you can give Elway time to throw against a team that likes to cover the receivers man-to-man, he should be able to have a field day. I don't care how good they are. There's no defensive back that can cover a wide receiver. Johnson, once again, a simple sideline pattern. What they're setting up, I believe, is from the slot, Johnson will run sideline routes all day long. But once the corners overplay, look for Elway to throw deep to the post to Johnson in the slot.
2nd and 1. Trap play inside. Mel Bratton out out of Miami, the 7th-round draft choice, who sat out of football for 2 years with an injury sustained on New Year's Day 2 years ago.
Jeff Fisher told us, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, there are 2 plays that we must stop. Number 1 is from split backs, the trap. The number 2 is the draw. That time, it was the draw that got the first down for the Broncos.
Jeff Fisher at 31, the youngest defensive coordinator in the league. First down and 10, 14-0. Broncos' most serious threat thus far. They trail. Elway straight drop into the flat, caught by Bobby Humphrey. Flag is down. This one will come back if the Eagles so desire. Seth Joyner, number 59, makes the tackle. And it'll be holding against somebody in that Denver line. It's been a patch-up Denver offense for Dan Reeves. Karts, as we told you, was probable for today. He is playing.
Offsetting fouls.
Oh.
The down will be replayed. Early use of the hands. 67 offense, 74 defense. Penalties all set. It'll still be first down.
Mike Pitts, Doug Weidel for Denver. There's Weidel, who is in at right guard. Let's just get you up to date on what's going on with this offensive line now. The Broncos have Gerald Perry, number 60, at left tackle. At left guard currently is Jim Juriga, who's moved over from the right spot. Keith Bishop is on the bench. Keith Karts continues at the center, and the rookie Weidel has moved in at right guard, and then Ken Lanier at right tackle. There's Keith Karts, number 72, playing on an injured ankle and affected by a loss of hearing because of an ear infection. So he's been handicapped for the last month or so. Delayed blitz, Wes Hopkins coming. Elway sidearms it and finds Mobley for the first down at the 28. There's a scramble for a loose ball, but the whistle had blown.
Hopkins comes, he waits, and then he comes at the last moment. And over here, the down and the in by the tight end. The key was Elway having the time to pick up the blitz. There's the blitz. Jenkins coming. Hopkins, that is. Now the sidearm throw and a fine route by Mobley, the tight end, to get open.
Philadelphia leads it 14-0. 5:20 to go first half. Broncos with a first down at the 28-yard line. Backs are split. Humphrey. Andre Waters with the tackle at the 21. Waters, who now has sole possession of the starting spot since Todd Bell is out with an injury.
2 plays. One was the draw to the back. The other now is the draw trap. The left guard, Juriga, pulls. He kicks out. The back comes underneath and gets in the hip pocket of the pulling guard, Juriga. The 2 plays Fisher said I'm worried about from split backs is the draw and the trap. There's the trap with Juriga doing a fine job pulling and leading out.
Second down and 3. 14-0 Philadelphia. Play fake. Elway into traffic, first and goal at the 10-yard line. Found Johnson again.
What beats zones is a strong-armed quarterback and receivers with courage. Inside route by Johnson. Look at him come down inside, outside. Isaiah Jenkins turns him loose, and then now nice route by Johnson. You know what he did, Vern? I just noticed it. He slowed down. He saw that he was going to get into the area before John Elway was ready, so he slowed his route down so the timing between him and the quarterback would be perfect.
4 catches for Johnson now for 63 yards. First and goal from the 10. Elway, quarterback draw, sprint to the end zone, touchdown. Was designed, and that's his second touchdown on the ground this year.
There's only one player inside the 10-yard line that does not have any responsibility over him. No one covers him, and that is the quarterback, and that is why Elway was able to set up, show pass, and then sprint into the end zone because no one was to cover him, and it was man coverage.
Kubiak will hold, Treadwell will kick, it's good, and the lead has been shaved in half.
Notice Elway will take the snap, Seth Joyner to the outside will come on a blitz. He's picked up. Elway sees him go wide. Then the pressure pushes him out by Byron Evans, who blitzes up the middle. Once again, who covers the quarterback when there's a blitz? I'm going to tell you, nobody. I mean, nobody. There's Byron Evans. He forces him out. Seth Joyner goes by him. And then the beautiful lane set up by Elway, who's an outstanding scrambler running himself.
14-7 with 3:44 to go in the half. So the Broncos climb back into it. They were down by 14, as we said, to Seattle last week. And now the 76,000 begin to raise a ruckus.
Didn't know my accountant was here.
David Treadwell. Boy, it does blow in this stadium. Look at these. I guess they're hot dog wrappers. I'm not sure what that is. It's just confetti blowing around in the wind. Look like a lot of hash marks. Treadwell will kick off. Mark Higgs, Heath Sherman of the deep man for the Eagles. Sherman at the 1. Let's go back and see what they're doing with Reggie White, particularly on that touchdown run by John Elway.
Well, first of all, let's make sure that Reggie White, let's make sure that he's not being held. I believe that's Reggie right there. No numbers, but he is the left defensive end. That is him. Down inside, double team Lanier. The tackle gets left hand and a right hand. Two people, nothing. The rush by the linebackers or the blitz by two or more linebackers forces Elway out for the touchdown.
The Eagles keep it on the ground. Anthony Toney, who was out with a bruised shoulder, is back in and gets the carry for a modest gain of 3 feet at the right guard spot. So 14-7 now as the Eagles continue to keep it on the ground. Philadelphia opened by going 96 yards and 13 plays on the ground, but only 30 yards in this quarter. The Broncos have turned it around with 88 yards in this quarter. Second down and 8 now. Carl Mecklenburg, the weak inside linebacker. Behind the line, it's Rick Dennison, number 55.
Excellent job by Ron Holmes. He's playing in a place of Townsend. There's a pulled hamstring. Holmes forcing the running back inside. But let me make this point once again. You run plays, and if they're successful, the defense will adjust and take them away. In the first quarter alone, the entire rushing game of the Eagles was between their guards, straight up. And now in the second half, they can't go inside, and now they're having a hard time going outside.
Nickel defense in for the Broncos on 3rd and 9. Wyman Henderson backs off. The blitz is on. Here comes Fletcher. He gets to Cunningham. Just as the pass is released, it's incomplete. No catch. It would have been a first down. Simon Fletcher, number 73, just about got there.
Simon Fletcher, number 73, that's him circled. His main route, when he says, I rush the passer, I back my ears, and I just sprint. Gets there just a second late, but you have to feel that Cunningham felt his presence. Most great quarterbacks feel the pressure. He got rid of the ball, but Fletcher let him know he was there.
John Telchik will punt to Ken Bell.
Whoa.
Bell, who's fumbled one, grabs this one at the 32. Looks for help. Gets it back to the 40, and a shoving match breaks out.
Robert Drummond, man, he had a little Muhammad Ali in him. Bouncing back, pop, 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 little jab, little hook. I was impressed with that.
14-7, Broncos have the ball. 2-minute warning is here. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Just after we left Mile High Stadium, a penalty was called on Randy Robbins. A dead ball foul for blocking out of bounds. So it was accepted by the Philadelphia Eagles, and the ball was marked off inside the 20. Danny Reeves was not a happy human being when the penalty was called. Late flag, and Danny gave the officials a mouthful that Nevertheless, the penalty pushes Denver back inside the 20-yard line. Van Reeves, whose wife, by the way, Pam, is not here at the ball game today. She is down in Dallas because Dan's former teammate Leroy Jordan was installed in the Cowboys Ring of Honor at Texas Stadium today. And of course, Danny couldn't be here, so Pam went down to represent the family with Leroy and Betty Jordan in Dallas. Well, it's rocking here at Mile High today, and how about next Saturday up in Boulder, just 25-30 miles away. Next Saturday, the showdown. 4th-ranked Nebraska, undefeated at 8-0. Colorado currently ranked 3rd. They're sure to move up when the vote comes out tomorrow. They meet in Boulder next Saturday on CBS. That ought to be a heck of a football game. First down and 10. Denver backs in the eye. Play fake. Elway being chased by Simmons. And runs it out of bounds as Seth Joyner comes over to help. And it's a loss back to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things that happened then, Vern, the receivers for the Broncos, because of Elway's tremendously strong arm, when he scrambles and gets out of the pocket, they run to the goal line. On the other hand, the Eagles, they come back to Randall and give him a pocket, so it may be a difference of a 10 or 15-yard completion. As for Elway, it might be a 40 or 50. That time, Elway had no one coming back to help him out of trouble so he could get the ball off and get a 10 or 15-yarder. Everyone was sprinting down the field.
Second down and 15 from the 15. Looks like he wanted to shovel pass it. Now pulls up, dodges and drills it. Man open at the 32, first down. Michael Young, who had a huge game a week ago with 6 catches for 137 yards.
This is a dash series by the Broncos. The dash series is where the quarterback will take the snap, move out, scramble, and then Elway gets outside. No one there, then finally gets his ball off to Young, who worked himself open.
1:20 to go. Elway, incomplete. And was he in the grass?
Looks like they're ruling he was in the grass.
Clyde Simmons got there. Yep, Jim Tunney is going to call in the grasp, I believe.
Yep. Well, in the grasp, both hands totally in charge. Does he have him both hands firmly? That's a judgment call. Tunney says he does. Hey, these guys are out here to protect the quarterbacks, and that's what the owners want. And I have a feeling that Elway doesn't like it. I know Cunningham doesn't like it. I know I don't like it. But that's the way it is. We have to play within the rules, I guess.
Third sack by this Philadelphia team. Clyde Simmons gets his first. Here's the shovel pass. Reggie White. Oh, gee whiz. Well, there was an NFLPA survey just released, National Football League Players Association. And by his peers, this man was voted the outstanding defensive player in the National Football League.
Exactly.
Time has been called as Reggie White makes the tackle with 48 seconds to go. Reggie White and his Eagle teammates lead it by a 14-7 count. John Elway 8 of 12 for 107 yards. And he scored the touchdown on the 10-yard run. This is the kind of defense, I don't say it's going to happen here, Terry, but occasionally against this 46, you can hit the big play.
Well, the 46 is a very aggressive defense, and once again, we'll say that all the receivers are primarily manned up. They have someone man covering them. If you beat them, there's no one behind them, so you can get the big plays.
This time the handoff goes to Steve Sewell. And it'll be 4th down, and the Philadelphia Eagles use another of their timeouts because they're going to get the ball back now. And this Bronco crowd, there's just a hint of booing in this crowd after that play call. Gary Kubiak and Dan Reeves on the sideline.
You know, it looks, when you look at this stadium, Vern, the wind plays such an important part as a passer and in the kicking game, but in the closed end, it looks like the wind's blowing from the open end into the closed end. And you would say, well, we want to punt, you know, with the wind in the open side, but it's just counter that. You know, the flag's blowing at you. It's really blowing with you. And so therefore, I'm going to tell you that the Broncos, although the wind's blowing in their face, it really isn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. But then I've been with you for 4 years.
Oh, thank you.
It's 4th and 19.
See if you can clean that up a little bit, will you? If it's blowing in your face, it really isn't. There you go. How's that?
Now I really understand
I figured you'd understand that.
which scares me a little bit. Mike Horan, who played for Philadelphia back in 84-85. That's a short punt. Gizmo Williams had a 23-yarder earlier, and he gives the Eagles good field position at the 46-yard line with a 14-yard return. Henry Williams, who joined this team this year after 7 years in Canada, and he's limping a little bit as he goes off. 32 seconds to go. And Randall Cunningham brings the Eagles back on next Sunday on CBS. NFL action. It all begins with the NFL Today live at 12:30 Eastern. And many of you will see the Rams battle Herschel Walker in Minnesota. Others will see Chicago and Green Bay. And late, the Giants at Phoenix or Philadelphia at San Diego. That's next week, and it begins with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern time. Cunningham to pass for the 6th time. Keith Byars dances out of bounds with a 9-yard gain, and that stops the clock with 26 seconds remaining.
It's only the 6th pass attempt that Cunningham had. He's 5 for 6 for 22 yards, and he'll be hard pressed to be able to gun the ball, Vern, into the end zone. The zone that Denver will throw at him here doesn't allow that, but there are seams, and what he did that time was throw the flat to Byars, and Byars was able to get out of bounds.
14-7 Eagle lead. They go deep left side for Johnson, and he had a step on Kip Corrington.
The favorite route that Johnson has, and the coaches tell you this and the players tell you, Ron Johnson runs the best corner route of anyone on our football team. And that time Johnson went in, he went to the corner. It's a great route against zones because it sets up the safety for an inside route, and then it runs away from him to the corner. That time he was open, the ball was just slightly overthrown.
Brings up 3rd and 1 with 20 seconds to go. Rush by the Broncos. Cunningham fumbles it. Picked up by Tony. And he is dropped at the 47.
Timeout, Philadelphia, number 3.
So the Eagles use their last timeout, and that'll allow them just enough time to punt the ball, because there are 11 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Randall Cunningham and John Tilchik comes on to punt. Coming up at halftime, we'll have Brett and Herb with scores and highlights. That's just 11 seconds from now as we get back to our New York studios. A lot of very close games here as we reach the midway point of the 1989. Buddy Ryan's Broncos lead, or rather the Eagles lead the Denver Broncos 14-7 as John Tilchik goes back to punt. Buddy Ryan, by the way, of course, Wade Phillips was his defensive coordinator a year ago, and Wade is now with the Broncos and doing a superb job. Well, they had dinner together last night. Wade Phillips invited as many of the Bronco coaches who wanted to join him for dinner as could, and 5 of them did, including Buddy Ryan. There's Wade Phillips.
There was even some talk in the paper, some of the things that Ryan had said that were not very nice about Wade Phillips, and so I was surprised that he would go have dinner with him.
Nice special teams play, and Britt Hager falls on the ball at the 4-yard line, but that'll be the final play of the half. The Eagles opened up with a 14-0 lead. Dan Reeves' team came back with 1 second quarter touchdown. That's the end of the first half with our score: Philadelphia 14 and the Denver Broncos 7.
Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. And by the Stanley Works of New Britain, Connecticut.